This is JP with Political Pop Culture, and this is my take. To absolutely nobody's surprise, lawmakers in the U.S. House of Representatives voted yesterday, January 12, 2021, to adopt a resolution calling on Vice President Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment.
You maniacs! You blew it up! Oh, damn you! God damn you all to hell!
The vote, which was narrowly passed with a vote of 223 to 205, largely along party lines, comes after the false claim that President Trump incited a mob to attack the Capitol last week. Pelosi and other prominent Democrats had threatened to impeach the president if Vice President Pence failed to comply with their demands. To his credit, Vice President Pence rejected the offer in a letter to Speaker Nancy Pelosi. In the letter, Vice President Pence made his position clear by saying, quote, "I do not believe that such a course of action is in the best interest of our nation or consistent with our Constitution. I urge you and every member of Congress to avoid actions that would further divide and inflame the passions of the moment." He went on to say, "I will not now yield to efforts in the House of Representatives to play political games at a time so serious in the life of our nation." That is a powerful statement from Vice President Pence, and it's a sentiment that I personally agree with wholeheartedly. Democrats are going on the offensive, and in doing so, they're effectively telling over 70 million Americans to go pound sand. This is a course of action that is only going to widen the divide in this country. Joe Biden has said it's time to turn the page, and he's called for unity and healing, yet he refuses to lead by example by calling on Pelosi and the Democrats to call off this unnecessary and divisive attack on President Trump during his final week in office. While the continued attacks on Trump are unnecessary, hitting the like button, then clicking on subscribe, and then smashing the notification bell, those are completely necessary. Your interactions with the channel really help us to have our content shown to more people, and every little bit helps, so thank you. Now, I have made my position on this issue crystal clear, and I'm going to reiterate it now. Impeaching Trump, again, without evidence worthy of a conviction, again, is a fool's errand. It is stupid, and it is needless political posturing at best. But at worst, it's something far more sinister. This is a political and a personal attack against a man with the intent of preventing him from ever seeking or holding public office again in the future. Whether you agree with Trump or you don't, you should be very concerned about the legislature of the United States using this kind of power to damage a political opponent. Not only is it unnecessary, it's un-American. Democrats, and Nancy Pelosi in particular, have been so enraged, so filled with hatred for Trump over the last 4 years, that they are willing to stop at nothing to destroy him. Unfortunately, it isn't only Democrats who are sharpening their knives. Establishment GOP politicians like Mitch McConnell, whose relationship with the president has always been tenuous, has publicly shared his belief that Trump committed impeachable offenses by, quote, stirring up his supporters. Then you have spineless rhinos like Chris Christie, Ben Sasse, and failed presidential candidate Mittens Romney, who can hardly contain their glee as they trash the president. The problem for people like McConnell and Romney is that standing against President Trump now at the end of his term is not only not going to heal the GOP, it's likely to fracture it even further. Look, nothing is likely to stop Nancy Pelosi from pushing through another illegitimate impeachment against Trump. I can only hope that at some point she is held responsible for the damage she is causing the country. There is a schism in this country. Friends and family members across the United States are bickering, fighting, or even worse, they're refusing to speak to each other at all. It is time that our so-called leaders actually lead. Lead by example. Lead by working to unite and to build us up instead of continually working to divide and destroy. Well, there you have it. That's my take, the long and the short of it. What's your take? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to join the cult at PolPopCult on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you for listening.